political ambition I have is a simple Alexander the Great viewpoint. It's my oyster. If I can figure out how to rule it, I'm going to do it. If I can create a revolution that makes the planet into a utopia, and it fucks up everything that's considered hallowed by the current administrators, but I can pull it off without killing anybody, let's do it.
Let's go back to Garrison then, because so you're, how long did you work at the White House before you went to Texas to work on the case?
Before I went to New Orleans to work.
New Orleans.
Probably 3 months.
At the White House. What other operations did you do at the White House?
Nothing that had anything to do with anything other than checkmate. Checkmate and double check. We had another operation having to do with the sale of intelligence equipment to the boys in the White House that I had designed.
And so then you went to Texas.
Mm-hmm. New Orleans.
New Orleans, rather.
Right.
Well, tell us, who killed Kennedy?
My opinion?
Yeah.
Everybody's like, it's like assholes. Everybody's got one. It was probably orchestrated from the very top by David Rockefeller and Henry Kissinger. And they probably did it for many, many reasons, but the primary reason was to prevent the macroeconomic, socioeconomic, and geopolitical revolution that comes with the release of free energy and time control.
Time control?
Yeah, UFOs are flying time machines. Jack agrees with me on that.
Yeah.
So,
many
Kennedy was on the verge of then what?
Releasing the Roswell information and what it portended, which meant there were little bodies.
Like
jars.
Colonel Corso, like Phil Corso.
What proof do you have that Roswell really happened? What do you know personally?
Empirical evidence says it's fucking got to be.
Well, I want to know what you saw and you heard, and that.
I have never saw or heard anything about Roswell. I associate with Paul Price, who's on my team, and he's a vortex physicist type out of Roswell, and and other than the lady who runs a museum over there, I don't know too many people in Roswell.
Let's get back to the evidence you feel that points to Kissinger and Rockefeller. What did you see that led you to come to this conclusion? What is your personal eyewitness knowledge of that?
That would have to be broken up into a couple of answers to that. And Paul Samuelson's one of them, and the other one's Brzezinski, and the other one's Henry himself. Because we've tried, whenever we attempted to establish a dialogue with Henry, in spite of who the intermediaries were, i.e. Bob Sheen, that Henry would tilt immediately in favor of whatever the intelligence apparatus of Majestic 12 wants to do, which, confronted with the problem of Gordon Novell, is just try to fucking intimidate him and fucking run a mind fuck on him, see if you can't get him to break down.
But I'm confused. We're sitting here, we're talking about you worked for Garrison because you felt he was monkeying up the investigation.
It was bullshit. It was a bogus prosecution. It was a political prosecution. I mean, it's classic Napoleonic code. I accuse. DA can write a bill of information, don't need no grand jury. You're indicted.
Did you see the faking of the letters yourself?
Yes.
You witnessed the letters being faked?
Pulled them out of the garbage can after you typed them.
You think MJ-12 had something to do with the fact that Kennedy was killed?
Yeah.
What is MJ?
The MJ-12 as I understand, it's a military apparatus consisting of a hardware and a cover-up modes. Primary operations, hardware operations on one side, science, the other side, cover-up of everything related. Grand scale, whatever's required. books, films, you name it. Anything. Physicists, anything.
It's interesting because we're talking about Kennedy's assassination. You're basically saying that he was assassinated because he was going to release information
That amongst
confirming the UFO
yeah, he was gonna
technology.
yeah, and he was gonna do a rapprochement with Castro too, so he'd get his fucking prisoners out.
And he was dumping the Fed.
And he was going to open up and, based on what I was told, he was going to go ahead and they were going to open up and kill and expose the funding of Majestic via the CIA's airlift operations with Majestic to control the Golden Triangle during the Vietnam War. The Vietnam War was nothing but to control all that money that went in, about I'm told 54 billion, something on that order, was siphoned off, and it was